Yes, peace, peace, peace. Welcome. Welcome all to the house of Tonya 23. And I hope that this live finds you all in peace, good health, um, abundance, and all that good stuff. And let's not ask for too much, but let's just be humble and ask for stable mental health in these times. One of the very, very, very important things that we must pay homage to as much as possible to have stable mental health. Well, tonight I stopped by because it's been a minute since I've pulled out my cards and seen what the great grand holy mother, aka Big Mama, has to say to her children since so much has been going on. And I was looking all over for my eyeglasses, and guess what? They were on my desk already. Yes, family, they was already on my desk. And you know what that means? Because I really am trying to stay ready so I don't have to get ready. But I guess I underestimated myself for a moment there. But it was good news. We turned that into good news. So let me let this music rock for a second. And let me just grab one more thing. And I'll be right back with you to see what says Big Mama today. It's just been one of those days, family. Again, looking for something that was right here at my fingertips. Something wants me to pay attention to that. Looking for something that's already right there. I think that's alive unto itself. Looking for something that's already at your fingertips. Well, family, such is life. Most of the things that we seek after are closer than we think. Very deep wisdom right there, very deep wisdom, especially if you're manifesting, working on your manifestation, to know that what you seek is actually closer than you think. I'm going to take a second and write that down because I'm going to expound on that a whole hell of a lot, family. What you seek is closer than you think. I don't know, that's really resonating with me on a high frequency. Yeah, somebody out there needed to know that tonight. What you're seeking is so close. Just hang in there and persevere and keep going. Because let me tell you, universe knows I have kind of fell off the past few days, and I've been in my daydream state of creativity, and I haven't sat down to put any content on my channels that I really am trying to build. But for some reason, procrastination keeps coming to me in that way. So, just like any other thing, we have cleansings and rituals for that. And let me tell you, it was my pleasure to do that cleansing. And here I am, the same day. I'm right back on. So sometimes energies, if you don't do your part on your cleansing and different things that you should do to keep your mind, body, and soul in balance, your grounding, your affirmations, your meditations, whatever it is that you do. Some people work out, listen to music, write in journals. There's a million things to do for self-development. But definitely keep in mind that perseverance, a lot of times it's negative energy buildup. Let's make an acronym out of that. Negative energy buildup. The NEB. NEB. Negative energy buildup. The NEB. Now just imagine what that looks like. Visualize being weighed down by negative energy. It probably looks like rocks and boulders and slates and all of that on your back as you're carrying it. And some of us actually start to physically manifest it. You know how there's some that walk with the crooked spine, they're like hunched over, and are hunched over more and more. A lot of times it's from carrying heavy weight, and it's not physical weight. It's emotional weight. It can have adverse effects on your outer body, not just take away from your youthful looks and all, but it can make you gain weight obsessively. It can make you lose weight obsessively. And what it does is throw you off balance. There are many ways to be thrown off balance, family. Some ways you can see, and some ways you can feel. But imbalance is imbalance, am I right? So, in these very stressful times, I want to send positive Reiki energy. And when you see me on here doing my Reiki sessions coming up, it will seem as if I'm just sitting doing nothing, But on the contrary, there are soundless tracks that are providing different healing frequency scales, like 426, 526, 777, 1111, all the different frequencies, 555, 222, 333, 714, 174. There are so many scales of frequencies, and they all, should I say, trigger a certain cellular reaction to the human or the animal, the living thing, because sound also works with flowers, plants, and trees. And so if you understand this, then you understand the diverse effects they can have on you in a positive way for you to utilize them more. More and in unique different ways. So that's what I bring to the table, It's my uniqueness and my process for maintaining a healthy and balanced mental and physical state. Sometimes, to me, having a healthy mental state is vital to having a healthy physical state. Wouldn't you agree? They both work hand in hand. Well, a lot of you see my thumbnail and you say, what is this character she has? Well, this is Lilith, and if you go on my YouTube channel, House of Tonya 23, I actually did, under the Dark Goddess podcast, I did a segment or an episode on Lilith. And her story isn't as spooky looking as her picture. But see, to me, her picture doesn't look spooky either. I understand the symbolism. And if they can trap you in an image, then your mind can also be trapped there, you know? So sometimes what things look like isn't what they are. You know, we're just filled with all these philosophical sayings today. But how true, it's so very true that what things are on the outside has almost nothing to do with what is available on the inside. And as I say that, I am shuffling the deck of the Great Grand Holy Mother, which is Isis Serket. It's actually Serket turned into Isis, but we will respect that knowledge for others, because either way, it is the Great Grand Holy Mother. But most of us, we know our mother's name. Whatever mother she is to you, that would be the name that you use. But the children know the mother's name. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Even if they never met their mothers, most of the time, they will get a name at least. You know, it should be that way for fathers too. But too many of our children are deprived of even their father's name. You know, I've always seen that as a wicked thing under the sun that a woman has control over, you know. But let me shuffle this our 4 times. I've actually been seeing 5s a lot lately. 5s, yes. 5 frequency. It's actually in my plane of numbers a lot of times in my chart. So I pay attention to 5s. And plus, if you're into different spirits and whatnot, you know that 5 is linked to Oshun, and it's linked to other goddesses as well. I'll leave you to your own research if that's something you'd like to know. Alright, on the 4 cut, I got a feeling the goddess has a very important message for us. Half the deck just dropped out of my hand. I have to redo the cut, so here we are. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just for this moment, I am going to turn my camera on. For just a second, I want you to see the card. Come on, camera. Well, I'm not sure. Oh, no wonder. My bad, y'all. I had the cover on the camera. But I'm going back under, but I just wanted you to see the card. Yes, family. Need I say more? I'm going to go ahead and give you the breakdown, but the Queen of Heaven is on this team. I mean, it doesn't get any better than actual manifestation. You know, this is a serious thing. And I'm going to just let her speak through me tonight and hold back the tears, because it's a very emotional thing when the goddess is dealing with you on this level. You gotta be a certain kind of person. First of all, you gotta be able to hold water. You gotta be able to see some miraculous shit go down and not lose it. You've gotta be able to remain in balance. All of you who wonder why you never see results in things that you do spiritually. Well, Spirit knows who it can work with and then on what level. And how you love yourself really matters. Do you love yourself enough to really go deep within so that you too can see the manifestations of miracles? There was the one they called Jesus. And he said, the things that I do, you're going to do greater. The things that he does, you should do them and greater. One moment, please. Let's just be precise starting from now on. And that particular scripture would be found in the book of John. John, a man that had so much to say about Jesus, but he never met him personally, but he speaks of him. Well, there was a time where I had some conflict with that. But I've grown mature in my own journey, because I too speak for the goddess. But I can't say I've never met her. This is just not the time to say how I have met her. But just understand, she has manifested herself to me many, many, many times. And just because I'm doing this oracle reading, and it's all about the message Big Mama has for her people. And the fact that the card that came up was the Queen of Heaven, as we're talking about Serket and her relationship to Isis and vice versa. and the Queen of Heaven comes up to the top of the deck. So that lets me know we're on the right track, and she is the subject. The message she wants you to know is she wants you to know about her. It's time for you to understand who she is. And that would mean getting her name right as well. But if you really want to activate and get on the move, reverence her for who she is. Do you respond to others that call you out of your name, or call you a name that is not yours, or that you do not subscribe to? How would you like it? Your name is, let's just say John. John, whatever happened to John? No one knows. No one even cares. Because we have Peter over here. And we're just going to say that that John, he dissolved, and there you have it. He's Peter now. No explanation, because to me that sounds like a serious metaphysical transformation that should be written down in the history books and taught in every preschool. That should be the very first thing you learn in education before you even learn your ABCs and all, is to know about the incident that happens where a person didn't get to die a normal death, but they got to get transformed into a new being right in front of the entire earth. Doesn't anybody find that suspicious? Is it that suspicious? I mean, come on now. That is just as miraculous, if not more miraculous, than the story of a young woman getting impregnated and not having intercourse. That's just as amazing and miraculous, isn't it? But no one thought that the Isis Serket story needed to be looked into. Until now, I have come. I've been dispatched to be on this level and to even be trained and have a little bit of communication skills to be able to get on here to talk to you all, and to talk to you all in a way where you can understand. This is great information for some, irrelevant information for others, completely pertinent information for the rest. But I cannot be concerned about that, because you can tell when somebody's real and when somebody's fake, and when somebody truly believes that they have a destiny and they're living out their destiny by telling this story. This is a story that even my own family members know I have to tell. Not only did I have to tell the story, I had to dig up the story because it's very ancient. I have been called to the ancient goddess. Now I recognize her, but she's been there with me all along. I had to take some time and refilter her through some of the things I've gone through in life so I could actually see she was present at that time as well. Some very miraculous things I've gone through. And I wrote a novel about it. It was so much of a weight, I had to write it so that it would be available forever and ever and ever, because I will never change my story. So, as I was saying, as a female, a lot of times we suffer just because we are who we are. And I'm sure men can relate to that as well. But we can't relate to men, and men can't relate to us because they're not us. So I'm just going to speak from my personage. As you see, Lilith, her story is not as horrible as the picture. She was being bullied by Adam, and he wanted things his way. And even sexually, he always wanted her to get on top. And she didn't always want to do that. But women were only supposed to do what they were told at that time. And she rebelled. So therefore, I guess Adam went back crying to God, or God heard it himself, because he should have known it, because he's there and he sees everything. Nothing is hidden from him, so he saw what happened. And he created her. Why didn't he understand what she was going through? And that she was being bullied sexually because Adam wanted things her way, and she didn't want to do it that way. Doesn't she have just as many rights as he does? Well, apparently not, because she got swiftly kicked out of the garden. And so she made her home, and I believe it was in the bosom of a willow tree. And so there you are. She's been demonized ever since. As a matter of fact, they took her right on out of Genesis. She was supposed to be there. That's one of your forbidden scriptures. That isn't fair. But still we rise. So now we arrive at the place of the card that we pulled, which I turned on the camera, and at that time you all saw it was the Queen of Heaven from the Isis deck. The Isis, aka Sertet deck, I should say. We've already gone through that. But the Queen of Heaven, her message is blessings from the divine empress of the skies. So many of you are observing our skies lately, and probably like many others, you have seen some things you have never seen before. And what do they call them? Unidentified objects. And so the divine empress of the skies does not mean space, it means skies. And so I'll let you guys go head on and fumble that around in your brain a little bit when we talk about mythology and what is real and what is not real. When we talk about mythology, these are supposed to be stories that were created, but perhaps you don't know if they actually happened. And it seems that lately A lot of these supposed mythological stories, if you start searching the internet, the Nephilim, they have found skeletons, they have found evidence of a lot of these myths. So go figure. Some say Isis was a myth. Well, how could that be? There's a whole marriage to Osiris, there's a whole child, there's a whole story behind it. It wasn't easy for her to conceive either. But I mean, come on. So I'm familiar with this card. I can tell you it's on page 139. 139, 9 and 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13, 1 plus 3 is 4. That would be another clue that this is divinely inspired. It's already been 3 fours. Yes. A friend to the end. The Queen of Heaven, the divine empress of the skies, acknowledges my feminine authority now, or your family, your feminine authority now. Listen, as a man or as a woman, you have a life path of spiritual leadership to bring qualities of mercy, compassion, and wisdom into the world. The oracle of the Queen of Heaven is a confirmation of your feminine leadership and spiritual authority, whether in male or female body this lifetime. Isis means throne, and in her presence and blessing as divine empress of the skies, she offers initiates of the light, men and women, great feminine spiritual power. Feminine spiritual authority occurs when power is tempered with mercy, wisdom, and compassion and love. It is inspired spiritual leadership through the heart and a model of power and authority that is based in empowerment rather than the force or control. Rather than force or control. Isis, the Queen of Heaven, calls you to ascend to the throne of feminine leadership within your own being, that you may fulfill your life mission and serve the divine feminine on this planet from a place of inner spiritual authority. And I feel good, family, personally, because I actually had to rise to that occasion most of the day today. And I'm very proud that I was able to offer leadership to a young married couple on their anniversary today. You would be surprised. But things didn't turn out, so great in the beginning. But I was able to offer some spiritual leadership and send plenty of Reiki energy fast over a long distance, You guys have to open your minds to energy and how it works. You're missing out to think that because you're in Nova Scotia, I can't send you healing energy fast to where you can feel it. That wouldn't be true. It can absolutely be done, and it is being done all around the world on a daily basis. So much light work and healing work, body tuning is being done. Love is being spread across this world, and no one is going to stop the love train. We are going to get what is ours by any means necessary, because there is no weapon formed against you as a sovereign being on this planet that is going to come against you and win. If they are not in the right or in balance, they cannot come against you and win. Know your power, family. You are all powerful. And with your wisdom, activating it, you will overcome whatever it is you need to overcome. You just have to be consistent in how you feel about yourself. Literally, that is the key. Continue to show yourself love. Don't be so hard on yourself. Now, don't give yourself, excuse after excuse. I'm not saying that. Not by any means. But you know what I mean by love on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're just a human being on this planet trying to make it in life like everyone else. If we understood each other, we would understand ourselves. If you're going through something, understand there's many others in your position that are going through the same thing. And we all go through similar things because of our circumstance. If we could find someone that was in the same circumstance as us, things could be easier to cope with or to move through. Connecting with others. We can't be afraid. We're even afraid to connect with each other online. Seriously, I have been trying consistently for over a year and a half now with a specific group of women, trying to get them organized so that we could just meet up once a week for 1 hour and give ourselves the stress release and female time to run things past each other, whatever. And I also had some topics to talk about to begin to get us to start doing some of the work we need to do within. Things was going great. One person drops off, this one can't make it. It's just in the commitment, because we do what we want to do. We got to stop making excuses for each other. When it's something that we want to do, we make the time and we find the time to do it. But yet we feed our friends and family and others that are involved in our lives bullshit. Like, just say you ain't about shit and you don't want to do shit for your self-development. It's not all about everybody else. On your biggest magic, you have to put in some sort of work. You have to do the work. Period. And so, this oracle is also confirmation to step forward in leadership. If you've been considering doing so, it might be in connection with others, especially if you also drew the card Divine Sisterhood, which I didn't, only drew the one card, but I have drawn Divine Sisterhood. But it just so happens that the next card is not Divine Sisterhood. It's initiation. Okay? Next level. Initiation. That could be any number of things. Going through new experiences, initiation. But the card that we ought to focus on is the Queen of Heaven. Let's not let her get away from us again. But the card Divine Sisterhood will be able to realize that you are a capable spiritual leader in your own right, as you trust in the divine feminine values within. The new model of power is not about assuming authority over another, but it's about living your truth and integrity and leading by authentic example, which is all we need to do. All of this structuring, like you sitting there teaching the class of how to live, great. If you don't have um, knowledge of how to take care of yourself, you can certainly get that. But it's certain things about femininity when you have a family and whatnot that you have to spend time with other women so that you can see some of the stuff you do is not utterly insane. So other women need to embrace other women. But it seems to be a problem with certain groups. It's all about envy, jealousy, this person, you're trying to do something, they're already doing something, so you don't have time to waste with them because you're trying to do something, not knowing that you could both come together and really do something bigger. It's just always a constant stumbling block as to why women can't come together and why some of the older women just cannot keep it real with the younger women. And a lot has to do with that, religious backgrounds and such. And when they try to push that off on the younger women, a lot of times they run into some issues, let's just say. But I'll leave you with this. Give thanks to this blessing, this anointing, to spiritual leadership, true and pure, given and received in unconditional love. It really has to do with that God is searching your heart, because it's not that you're so great. It's just that whatever she sees in your heart is good, and she wants that to be expressed to others. Every mother knows her children what they got to offer inside. No one else knows like the mother. If she's really connected, because you have an umbilical cord doesn't mean you're connected as a mother. You got to put some thought into the connection, nurture the connection, create it, manifest it. You're the creator. Thank you to the beloved Queen of Heaven, Isis, Serket, Divine Empress of the skies, for your guidance and blessing as I ascend to the throne of spiritual truth within my own soul. I say, Amen Ra, and Ashe. We'll leave you with this incantation from the Queen of Heaven. You can say this in the morning, noon, night, whenever you want. At the beginning of your meditations. If you are a spiritual leader, you can make this something that you say often or before you go in to give your support to others. Use it as a tool on its own to solicit appropriate support for your own spiritual leadership work on this planet. Whether in an obvious form or as a teacher or as a healer. It's very important to keep, though perhaps less immediately obvious, ways of how you choose to live your life. So Empress of the Skies, Heavenly Queen, beloved Isis, the cat, my heart is keen. From darkness and fear to be released, to connect with my power in the deepest peace. Bless me that this may be so, in accordance with heaven's plan that I grow. Beloved Queen, clothe me in your authority and light. I now claim my spiritual birthright. Amen Ra. It's as simple as that. And so, moving forward, I will be sharing some more useful information that can be implemented right away. So what you want to do is rewind this, go back a little bit, and literally write that down, because it will come in handy, especially if you're a teacher, healer, moderator, social worker, or if you're a life coach, whatever have you, that will work in clearing the energy and building the energy to get through a lot of these situations that you find yourself accompanying others with. Carries a lot of heavy energy. So on that note, I'm going to say peace from the house of Tonya 23. Until the next time, peace, love, and light. And try not to let anyone ruffle your tail feathers.